Hey everyone. So this topic today is a little deeper than usual. I'm going to talk about how injuries to the heart occur, also known as soul wounds. Um, being made fun of or teased, laughed at, ridiculed, lied about, pushed around, put down, or used, right? All of us, I think, have been hurt by someone that's done one of those things, right? Lied about, lied to, cheated on, deceived, um, stolen from, um, maybe even hit or pushed around, shoved, hurt in some kind of way. And all of those things, no matter what it is, whether you're called a name or whatever, it all hurts. But it really hurts when it's done by someone who is supposed to love you. Someone like a parent, a grandparent, a spouse, a caregiver, like a foster parent or something like that. Um, and the pain is just far worse when it happens um, by someone that you love. That kind of hurt causes pain that just goes really, really deep within, and it never goes away. And so this particular topic that ironically enough we're on this particular session this week is a pain that's very intense. And it's just, there's a lot more at stake because it's a relationship that you've invested yourself in. It's a relationship that you've allowed yourself to be more vulnerable in. You have different expectations and greater trust in the person who hurt you. And you've regarded that person as a vital source of love and comfort. Possibly even your protector, right? If it's a parent who's hurt you. So when a relationship means that much to you, it makes sense that it would be more painful if something like that were to occur. And when a relationship goes bad, there's just more to lose and more pain than normal when it happens. And so these injuries leave what we call in the biblical counseling world as a soul wound. Of course, we know that a injury is an act where someone damages or hurts another person, right? The dictionary, Webster's version of a definition of injury is that you've been wounded. It's an offense against a person. It hurts their feelings and even their dignity, right? For some, the hurt is a violation of another person's rights, physical, mental, whatever. It could be a loss, right? In like a business relationship or even your reputation, you know. But in any case, the injury happens to someone. Have you ever heard someone say to you, "Don't take it personal"? There's a song. I don't sing because y'all be mad if I sing, but there's a song, "Don't Take It Personal. Take the bitter with the sweet," or something like that. You remember that song? Um, I don't like when people say don't take it personal, right? I'm a person. How else am I supposed to take it, right? So when I ask that question, why do we do the things we do? When you're hurting someone and someone tells you that you've hurt them, but they tell you don't take it personal, that's a rough one, right? Because an injury happens to the self. It's an emotional or relational injury, and it causes that soul wound that I'm talking about. These injuries occur when we need or expect our loved one to be there for us, right? Or for whatever reason, when they're not, it hurts. Um, you know, Finding them absent, your loved one absent, that could make the pain worse. People have abandonment issues and you wonder where that comes from. abandonment comes from people not being available, not being there for them. That comes from a soul wound. It happened when we were children, right? And so remember last episode, if you will, I'm calling them episode or whatever, but the last session that we got into, we talked about things that occur in our childhood and how it affects us later on in life. And that's what this is. That's where these wounds typically develop. They start when we are children. So, yeah, these injuries, how do you say this? It's when someone who's supposed to love us fails to provide safety, security. It's hard to describe, but let me put it this way. These injuries create what we know in the field as attachment injuries, right? So they could be identified as anger, anxiety, fear, grief, any kind of suffering of any kind happens when we do not get proper love and care and concern when we're growing up. And so these attachment injuries that happen from a caregiver or a loved one are basically what causes soul wounds. Okay, so I just want you to think about that, because next week I'm going to dig a little deeper and talk about exactly, I don't want to say exactly, but I'm going to give some scenarios of what attachment injuries can look like. But if what I've said resonated with you and anything that I've said today causes you to think about pain that you may have experienced, it's a soul wound. And we're going to dig deeper into that next week. All right. So hopefully you're learning something. I know I am in these studies. So I'll see you next time, and let's take care of ourselves, right? And if you need some assistance in that, let's get some counseling. Seriously, it's really, really helpful. All right. So there's our mental moment for the week. I will see you again next Monday.